So what are the stages of the semen retention journey? Think a better way to describe that, or what are the stages of evolution that semen retention provides for you? Because that's what semen retention is, man. It's the rocket fuel for your spiritual evolution. You coming into the wholeness of yourself, like I say, free of obstruction, right? The way it was meant to be. Now, I started semen retention before I even knew it was a thing, actually. Before I even saw there were videos on it and people were talking about it. It was something I just naturally felt inclined to start doing. I thought I was the only one. I really did. Then I found out, like, oh, wow, there's a whole community of people that do this. It's pretty cool. Why did I start, though? I started probably like most people is I was feeling I was tired of being just feeling sedated all the time, whether it was, watching porn all the time and masturbating and getting that, just being addicted to dopamine and having sex and just it being for nothing. It was like I was just wasting all of my energy. And I remember I was like, okay, well, I'm only going to, I'm only going to release once a week. And I had started to notice, wow, like when I'm in the gym, when I'm just talking to people, when I'm just going about life, I feel energized. Like I feel like, I have this energy now. I feel good. Like I feel like I'm carrying some light now, not just walking around like a zombie. And so I started doing that, and then that evolved into, I guess I was just seeking the truth. There's something deep down inside of me that just knew this is what I had to do. But I was so congested still. I had obstruction, right? The mind was still very heavy with me on this. So naturally, I started doing semen retention, and the mind comes in and it says, well, hey, man, it tries to hack it, right? It's like, hey, this is what the mind says. It's like, hey, man, like if you do this, you can get attention from women now. You can use this energy to be more attractive. You can have more confidence, right? I thought I had the answer at that point, right? You can use these benefits to hack life and to achieve your selfish desires. And I did, and that came to me saying, well, I'm gonna do the whole year nonstop. I don't care what it takes. I'm gonna do it. And I did, until I was gonna keep going longer too. That's the thing. Until I met, as the universe would have it, grace sent me the perfect girl, man. Perfect girl. What am I gonna do? Of course I started hanging out with her, and we were having sex and doing all that, of course, right? I mean, what are you gonna do? And when that ended, which, of course, I felt like I had gotten to that reset point where I had, spiritually evolved to a point where it was like I didn't really need girls on the same level. So I was able to approach it with a lot more of a take it or leave it mentality. And that attracted a lot more women. They're not really necessarily the women you want, because it's, that type of mindset is what the alpha males and the dating coaches will say to have, because it attracts more women, but it attracts more like insecure girls. It attracts girls with, problems that they don't like. The problems of like, they don't feel like they're enough, right? They're the ones catering to you. And that's not at the time I was indulging in that. I did that, and I didn't have the level of compassion and empathy in me yet to really see what that was, and I wasn't tired of it yet, because I was still trying to fulfill my own selfish desires. I was always honest, very honest and very forthcoming. I never lied. I never lied or pretended to be something I wasn't. I was very forthcoming with everyone, with all the girls, right? But, what's funny is I learned that, like, they'd hear that I'd say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Okay, yeah, cool, cool. And they think in their mind, well, I can change his mind and stuff. And when that didn't happen, they would, the issues would start, right, all the time. And, I just kind of got tired of that. I had realized that I was using this spiritual power, this higher level of consciousness to fulfill selfish desires. And, I started to suffer really deeply for that. Because it's like, great, God's never punishing you, like you're never being punished. It's taught. You're learning lessons, right? It's not this punitive, like, I'm gonna make you suffer for what you don't see. It's like, I'm gonna teach you. And I always felt like I was, when you know what you're doing is wrong for you, at the level of consciousness you're at, you suffer for it more. That's just how it is. You suffer for it more. When you don't know, you don't really suffer as much because you don't know. That's God's compassion, grace for you, right? When I say God, I mean, grace, God, universe, I mean, whatever, right? And that just kind of got played out as well. I would say that was the second stage, right? The first stage was, I'm all about the streaks, and like, I'm gonna renounce women, and I'm gonna, focus solely on these benefits, and I'm gonna whatever, right? And I needed to go through that stage. That was a good stage, right? Second stage was, I started to actually track the women and get what I was looking for after I really kind of stopped looking for it, right? And I was enjoying that play. Grace was allowing me to enjoy the play. I was like, okay, you can enjoy this now a little bit, right? Until you don't. And I started to see how I was still compromising for that, right? Like, the sex and the attention from women and the lust and all that, it stopped being worth it for me, because, again, I started to pay the price for it spiritually on a deeper level, right? It started to hurt a little bit, because this process of the spiritual evolution, man, that happens through semen retention, you naturally start to become more compassionate and empathetic for people, right? It stops becoming so much about what I want, and it starts becoming more about, I don't know, I guess just wanting to serve. Yeah. It's not really so much, what am I taking from this? It's, what am I giving? What can I give? So it stopped becoming right for me. But, grace allowed me to see that, and I remember, like, I was able to have all I wanted, so that I could see that it wasn't right for me anymore. I was getting the play that I'd always wanted, and I needed to have that. That was the thing. I needed to get that action, if you will, But so I would say that was the second stage, and that was a fun stage. It was a good stage, but that evolved into the third stage, and I would say the stage that I feel like I'm in now is, it's not about what I can get at all. It's not about the girls. It's not about sex. It's not about women. It's not about the benefits. It's about using the energy that I have, that's been bestowed upon me and given to me, as a way to give back, as a way to serve, right? And that's when I feel like things really started to stabilize for me. There wasn't this tense, rogistic, overactive energy in me anymore. It's like the urges kind of went away for the most part. I mean, I'm still human. You're always gonna have that human element to you, but I naturally know what I need to do to balance that out now, what's worked for me. And that'll come for you too, right? It's this intuitive guide that happens. You naturally know in the moment what you need to do to stop those urges, to be able to sleep at night, and to be able to function. And that only comes when you start to get to that stage where you have no other choice but just to serve and to love and appreciate women and all humans, all people, right? Because you're part of that whole. And, you know, I'm not saying you don't, I don't have that human side of me either, where I don't, like, look at an attractive woman and be like, wow, it's a really, really attractive girl. Occasionally lust and edge, as Yash from Beyond the Alchemy calls it, right? That's still, I mean, you're human. You're always going to have that to a certain extent. That never fully goes away as long as you're in this form. But I just hold space for that now. I don't act on it anymore. I don't even want to. That's the thing. I don't even want to. I have no desire to meet women or to get attention from them at all. No desire to have sex for them. And it's funny because the universe sends you tests. It'll send you, give you even more lessons, right? Like, I've had girls straight come up to me before and want to, exchange phone numbers and play that game and go through that cycle. But when I used to absolutely would take on that, now it's I can't look at girls like that anymore. I can't look at them through the lens of, like, I want to take from you, I want to use you, like, and I just can't do it anymore. Now when I'm, like, around attractive women and around beautiful girls and have those, like, maybe lustful thoughts occasionally, they're quickly just doused. And now I don't want to own, like, I don't want to be up close and personal with it anymore. Now what I like and prefer is just to be around it and feel that energy and hold space for it for what it is and appreciate it, but it's not like I want to take it, I want to use it anymore. I feel like this is, like, the best stage because it's a stage of peace and really balanced contentment. Right? Everything you do just becomes an offering. So it's like, even when the girls come up to you and say, hey, I want your phone number, I want to partake in this, you just can't even do it anymore because it's there's a drone flying by. It's such a lower level way to look at it. And the best part about it is there's no renunciation, there's no forcing it, there's no, like, I'm actively trying to avoid it. I just don't want to do it. Like, there's no desire for me to go and seek that out at all. And you kind of come full circle. And I don't know if there's a stage beyond this. Like, I'm not saying I have all the answers figured out. I'm just saying, I'm speaking from the place that I'm at. Like, I talk to people that are still kind of playing that game all the time, girls and guys, and it's just, I see it. They're like, they're like, they come up and ask me and they wonder, well, what should I do? What do you think this means? It's like, I don't know. Sounds to me like it's just not a good fit. Because if it was a good fit, you wouldn't be asking these questions to yourself, right? Or to other people. But, it's good. Like, God, man. Yeah, it's nice. Just talk to girls like they're a fellow human and you don't want anything from them. That's for me, that's just the best place to be. You don't want anything from people. Everything you need is given to you. You see that on a deep level. Everything you need is provided and you take that for what it is, and that's it. And you give everything you can. Give back. It's not even me that's I don't even feel like it's me that's giving. I just feel like it's becomes more of an expression, right? That's why, taking care of yourself and this body and eating clean and getting good sleep and staying, being sober and all of that, it becomes about being able to channel this energy into positive things, not even, and positive might even be the wrong answer, just things that it needs to be channeled into, so I don't know. Does this land on with anyone? I mean, where are you at? Where do you feel like you're at in your journey? I'd like to know. So have a great day.